Welcome everyone to an episode of the Definitive Crusade. I am your host as always, joining the machine, Hughes, and joining me this time around, not one, not two, but three co-hosts. Guys, get yourselves in here. Let's see, we have Matthew, we have Josh, and we have Freya.
Woo!
Oh, hey.
She waves. She can wave.
I can do things sometimes.
She waves.
I was going to make a joke like I did, like the dab. Josh did his walkout thing. I was like, and Freya has a V2, but then you waved, and I was thoroughly
Yeah,
impressed.
I can do very simple things right now.
Sweet, that's cool.
Oh, I'm kind of concerned because if the pick is bad, she could literally go, "Hey, Josh."
To be fair, we can all do that.
We could all do that.
All right, that's it. I'm out.
He's only just got back, man.
Come on.
Hey. It's out of there like the Broncos in the playoff race. All right, okay. Before we get started on our comics this week, I think we have to do a little bit of celebration, I'm afraid. This week, it was announced the Comic Book Company of the Year through Corporate Livewire Global Awards. It went to Comic Crusaders. Comic Crusaders, as you know, is our sister show, our original. It's where we cut our teeth before we started doing UCPN and all the.
It was the Umbrella Corporation.
No, it wasn't. So, before we get to talk about the books, I just want to say, as editor-in-chief of Comic Crusaders, a big thank you to everyone involved and a big well done. Guys and girls, we couldn't do this without you spending the time, the effort, the word space, the spelling mistakes that I've got to correct, the grammar, the images I've got to add, and all that sort of kerfuffle to make Crusaders what it is. And you know what? It's been an absolute blast, and it remains an absolute blast. So, Comic Crusaders, well done, everyone. Woo. Cool. Now that's done. Batman bottle opener, bottle of beer.
Hey, look, we had to include Batman at least some point in this episode.
Did you really though?
Johnny, tell us how you really feel about pointing this.
Bring on the books. Here we go.
I could have picked it. I could have.
Yeah, we could have picked what? No, I'm not going there. Let's go. Let's just stick with the ones we're stuck with.
All right.
All right. Okay. First up, if I'm allowed to say ladies first in today's modern society, is Freya's choice. Freya's choice was The Nice House on the Lake, book number 3. To give you some heads up, some dates. This is written by James Tynion IV, taking a break from everything that's Batman. Alvaro's Martinez Bueno. Colors by the fantastic, always impressive, no matter what she's doing, Georgie Belair. And letters by Andwell Design. There you go. So, book 3. I have absolutely no idea what's going on. Freya!
Okay, so
Educate us.
It's really not that complicated. You can pick it up from just reading the book.
He said you had gone wrong somewhere.
Yeah. Maybe read sometimes, Johnny. Anyway, so I really just chose this because it's a nice little step away from superheroes. Okay, yeah. So essentially, they're stereotypical horror movie. They're stuck at this house. Yeah. So essentially, their friend, and I don't know exactly how, caused the end of the world, and he's trapped all of his friends in this house, and he's kind of watching them like the Truman Show. But one of them just can't seem to, relax, and he's, being pissy at everyone for no reason, and they're just trying to, live life and enjoy staying at this nice lake house with boats and all the movies in the world and a theater and shit. And he's like, no, we have to escape to the outside world where everyone's dying because I'm a party pooper. And you just forget. I'd be like, fine, just leave. But he can't. But, I'd be like, fine, you don't get to stay in the house. You can stay in the woods then, you little prick.
Right,
Don't
and
ruin
so
the fun for everyone else just because you have issues.
I just want to know that it's like me that tells people how I really feel. Really? With a review like that? Really?
Well, okay. Well, like you said, the art is the coloring and everything is really well done. From the beginning, I'm just gonna call it the douchebag that just can't seem to relax at the lake house. He's probably gonna kill everyone. And I'm just calling that right now. He's probably gonna be the cause of everyone's death because he can't freaking chill out and just be like, well, I mean, at least it's better than being out there writhing in pain and agony and dying. You know, I'm stuck with these people, but at least it's a mansion, you know, with a huge forest around it that I can wander off to. But no, he's got to go on an adventure. And probably ruin it for everyone else who's just like, yeah, this sucks, but whatever. You know?
You just killed it.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. I wish I had drums to do a little rim shot for you, but I don't. So.
All right. Okay. All right. So where should we go next, Matthew?
Okay.
Is it a nice house on the lake?
It is a nice house on the lake.
Right,
It is a nice house.
That's a good shout.
As always, I think Frey is a bit harsh. But
really?
yeah. So
I mean, I didn't say I didn't like the book. I liked it. I'm just saying the main character is a douchebag.
That's the thing, though, is because if you read the book, you find out that the guy who put them in this box, he spoke to for a total of 1 month. He doesn't actually know this guy. He's not actually friends. And the world may have ended, but for some reason with these people, he's been put in a box and he's being watched like the Truman Show. It's kind of offsetting, and so of course he's freaking out. He's trying to figure out like what's the limits of this box that we're in. What is the meaning for all these like symbols and puzzles and things that this guy is put in with this box. And he's actually terrified that the guy is a psychopath and is going to kill them rather than keep them protected. Because at one point he tries to go back into the house after walking around the forest and he can get in, and so he starts screaming. He's like, "You killed them, didn't you? Why did you kill them?" Because he thought that all of his friends and people that he knew that were alive in the box were dead because this guy killed them, and so he's scared.
All right, okay.
That was kind of my take on it, you know. And
right,
I think what he's doing is the most logical thing, because as we saw when he came down the steps in the morning, they're eating breakfast, they're cooking eggs and whatever, and what else not. Where'd the eggs come from? He hasn't seen any chickens. How do we know they have unlimited supplies? How do we know that life inside this box is going to last forever?
I can't believe it. We've actually got who'd have thought we put logical thought into a comic book story?
I know. It's actually a good book.
Where did the eggs come from? You see, when a boy chicken and a girl chicken.
That's not true, though. That's not true, Johnny. Chickens lay eggs regardless. That's the thing.
Oh, right. So what you're saying, chickens are promiscuous. All right, okay. No, now I'm getting where you're coming from.
No,
Matthew, I didn't know this about you.
You know what? That brings a whole new meaning to the saying that chickens get laid.
Yeah.
Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, we all know that one.
Whoever smokes first. All right, okay. Josh, please add some sanity.
Okay.
No.
You're asking the wrong person there, friend. All right. So I actually enjoyed this book. Mostly because something about the Black Label books lately have really had an indie feel. Both in the writing, but also in the artwork. I love the grit and the way that the colors are. They're bland, but they still pop off the page. And so as far as the book is concerned, I thought it was a great balance of both writing and artwork.
Mm-hmm.
As for the egg debacle, I don't know. Honestly, I'm gonna have to side with Freya. I think it's, the douchebag's gonna kill them all. He's just lowering their defenses to make them feel comfortable, so that when he does go in for the kill, they're screwed.
Yeah, and
you must be yoking.
yeah.
Oh.
And like you said though before, well, not you, Josh, but the main character may not have known the guy who put them in there, but the other people did. Like, they knew him longer, and they're like, he wouldn't let us starve. So I don't know, would a guy who's only known him for a month know his character better than his friends who've known him for years?
I think the fact that he doesn't know is why he's scared.
Yeah, but you should take cues on like people who know them a little bit more, because you don't know the person, but they know the person. Be like, okay, well, if, people who've known him for years say he won't let us starve, then they have a better, they know more than I do. So
People have been wrong.
That's true.
True, but at the end of the day, I think, the douchebag can't be trusted.
No.
So I think supplying the food and everything they need is just creating a false sense of security, which will inevitably lead to their stereotypical horror story death.
All right. Okay. So interesting. So loads of different things. This is a bit of a talking head book for me. I haven't been reading any of it before, so coming into this way cold kind of puts you way behind the curve on this. For me, it feels like a little bit of The Shining in there because they're kind of stuck in one place. It's very claustrophobic. As great as the hotel is and The Shining is, and trust me, if I had to sit and watch Disney all the time, that would send me bonkers as well.
It doesn't have to be Disney.
She does say multiple times you don't have to watch a Disney movie.
Just saying, it had to be something comedy, right? All right. So puzzles, symbols, boxes. Are they not already dead? Is this not a lost thing already? I don't know. As I said, this is like book 3 for me. So I'm kind of, what's going on? I do like the fact that Tynion does work for DC other than Bat stuff massively. I think Tynion is following Snyder's model in becoming so Bat-orientated. DC need him because, hell, DC need Batman. But that gives him the power to do some of this indie stuff. Josh, you're absolutely right. This book, the art by Alvaro Martinez Bueno, is independent all the way through. When you think that Alvaro's done a lot of stuff for Detective Comics, Batman, a whole host of DC books, this is kind of like a nice change of pace. For me, I will shout out the cover. If you look closely on the cover and you kind of give it a little bit of a zoom in, it has like that oil painting texture to it that I really quite liked. I thought that was quite clever. Overall, do you know what the problem is? And this is probably the same for another book down the line. As much as I gave Crusaders lots of kudos at the start of the show, it's their fault. This past 2 weeks, I've read what have I read? I've written it down. I've read Lucky Devil from Dark Horse. I've read The Me You Love in the Dark from Image, and then I've read the last book you'll ever read. It's like I've been situated in Horror Central. I'm just like I can't deal with another horror book right now.
I think everybody's wanting to just take a break from like all the superheroes though, because that's all we discuss about. That's all we talk about. The majority of the books that have been released is superhero.
Yeah, but if you get in a rut of constantly reading the same type of book, and we'll see that a lot in the independent circuit where there will be waves of certain types of books, and lately there have been more horror type books. I don't know if that's because of what's kind of what's going on in the world right now, that we need a break from reality but still want to get the jump scares or kind of the mind type of books. But I'm with Johnny on this, that on the indie side, there have been an increase of horror books. So I do side with him on that it's like, really, another one?
Mhm.
And the other thing to consider, and this maybe is, I mean, indie take their beats from the main publishers as well. You know, Dynamite have started doing the Red Sonja Black, White, and Red book.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know, and now they're doing. There's got to be some multiverse books coming out. There's a couple already. Everyone's doing multiverse. Maybe horror's just a new thing. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But you know what? I kind of agree with Freya on this. This isn't a bad book. I think it's just for me, it's just bad timing. If I'd read this fresh, I'd be like, oh, I'm intrigued. But because I'm now, when I read this, I was 4 horror books in. I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done now. So, but you know, hey ho.
Yeah.
There you go. And speaking of horror books, next up is Josh's choice.
It's not quite a horror book, but
There is some horror in it. It is horrible. Sorry.
just because it has Red Hood doesn't mean you guys can bash on it every time.
Right. All right. Okay. I'll tell you what. Yeah. All right. I'll keep my mouth shut. I'll go last again as always. Don't stress.
Oh,
All right.
man.
All right. I'll balance the books. All right. Suicide Squad Get Joker book number 1. Also a Black Label book. It is written by Brian Azzarello, art by Alex Malev, who the last time you would have seen Alex Malev was on the Event Leviathan stuff in the Superman. That was going back about 18 months. Colors from Matt Hollingsworth, letters by Jared K. Fletcher. So, more Joker, more Jason, and look at what happened to him. Josh, take it away.
Okay. So, you know those moments when you have an instant regret?
Oh, so
that is me.
Teen Titans.
Well, I have an instant regret. I've only got 1 bottle of beer. So that's I'm regretting that right now.
So, okay. I think by this time, if you don't know that Jason Todd was killed by the Joker, I mean, I don't know where you are. I mean, it's now to the point where we're going to add this to the line of Bruce's parents were shot, Uncle Ben was shot. What other parent? Jor-El dies because Krypton blows up. I mean, I'm really, really, really getting tired of constantly having to get different variations of Jason's origin. Now, I don't know how I feel about Red Hood being recruited into the Suicide Squad. The only determination that I could honestly make is that this book could eat a big bag of dicks.
Are you saying if there was a whole bunch of dicks there behind you, that you would go and eat them?
I feel like this. I feel like this
gummies.
book. I feel like this book. This book went all over the island to eat a whole big bag of dicks. Now that I told you guys before the show I was going to use the line from Suicide Squad to describe this book, and I feel I've done that effectively. Now, the artwork, I don't know if it's just the style right now with DC books, but it's taken that grungy appeal or that grungy look. Does it work for this? Maybe. But the fact that we get a rehashing of Jason's origin, he's now part of the Suicide Squad. You're taking two things that we're all tired of and mashing it together, and now we're really going to get tired of it.
Well, you know, whilst I agree pretty much with all of what you've said, not everybody is sick of this. Because, I mean, let's give credit where credit was due. I know we take the mickey, and I'm really sorry about that. Well, when I say I'm really sorry, I'm maybe just a little bit sorry. But Matthew absolutely loves Red Hood.
I do.
Jason Todd's his go-to guy. You know,
And
so maybe,
and you know what? And we're not going to judge him for poor life choices.
Ouch.
so
It's okay, Matthew. You'll probably get me later. It's fine.
At least I have hair.
So I'm going to give some love to Matthew. You know, this is his neck of the woods. This is his neck of the woods. This is his frame. So, you know, instead of, you know, bashing the book like we're all about to do anyway, apart from Matthew, why don't we hear from Matthew? Matthew,
I think I'm going
turn the tables.
give all of you a really well surprise, but I despise this book.
Whoa! Holy
Yeah.
Stop the press. Who is that?
I know, right? Look, you're not wrong. I love Jason Todd. I love Red Hood. I love the story. I love the edginess of him. Love everything about the character. I am also getting really tired of constantly seeing Jason, just the reiteration of the story of Jason dying, coming back to life, and going through the hero process. I want a continuation of his story, not a recap.
That's a shout. I mean, this is a Black Label book, Matthew, so this is going to cost you in excess of $5. So unless, I mean, Matthew's a huge Todd fan, so he's going to know all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth Matthew spending $5 on a book, on a story that he already knows what happened?
Yeah, I don't think it is. Now, if it had started out with him, like if we had skipped all this recap, and we started out with Jason Todd being put into
The
squad, then I would have been a lot more interested, because that's a different take that I'm not exactly used to. Is Jason Todd being in charge of the Suicide Squad? As much of an idea as that is, as much I'm not a big fan of it, I'm interested to see how it goes, especially when you get further on in the story and you see, you know, he's realizing that everything's a setup and going on and so forth. Spoilers, sorry. But
the book's out now, everyone's fine.
Yeah. It's just like I feel like the first 3-4 pages could have been something a little bit more progressive than just recapping his story.
All right, okay.
So I was when I first picked it up, I was like, Red Hood, yes, let's go, another story. And then I was immediately disappointed because it was a recap.
Well, you know, I'm not a big Jason Todd fan, but I don't think Jason's been served particularly well recently. I mean, the Future State Gotham book, that wasn't the greatest version of Jason Todd. Now he's in this. Again, not the greatest version of Jason Todd. So, you know, I feel sorry for the Jason Todd fans. And there are loads out there, you know, who are getting kind of
they're not here.
A little bit.
They're not here, but they're
But yeah, they are. I mean, even this book has a little bit of passive aggressiveness about it in the first couple of pages, where he says a lot of people said I should die. He's like being passive aggressive about the guys that voted for him back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So, cool. Freya. Go on.
And Johnny.
Sorry, Matthew. Is there any more to say, Matthew? Or, yeah?
No, I was saying like she gave her input. She just did the and so we moved on.
No, I can give more. I was just I
know.
hoping you could finish your turn.
I felt like that was very
poignant.
I'm hoping Freya's going to say something about something.
I do actually enjoy the gritty artwork. It reminded, you know, it's the old style thing. I kind of, story wise, if it was a Suicide Squad story without the Red Hood, I would be low key interested in it, because, you know, they're trying to kill the Joker, and then it's a setup and go to figure out who's the inside man, how do you figure things out. I'd be kind of interested in seeing it. Would it be worth the $5?
But before we get to Freya, isn't this exactly the same storyline in Joker at the story itself, where James Gordon's going to kill the Joker?
True.
Come on, DC editorial, get more than one story idea, god damn it.
True.
But then they'd have to not have the wheel to spin and choose.
Yeah, that's it. Isn't that how you pick your books, though, Freya?
Yeah, I line them up and I chuck darts at them.
Right.
As we read them digitally, that means there's a lot of monitors go wonky at Freya's house.
She's trying to read the books and has to like make up part of the words because there's just holes through them.
Freya, take it away. What did you think of this book?
Oh, yeah, hot garbage. Sorry.
If I could pass you a beer, Freya, I would pass you a beer. Even though it's half drunk, it's my last one.
Speaking about a big bag of dicks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So when I heard Red Hood, I didn't, because you guys were talking, oh, it's Red Hood story. I'm like, oh, God, no. So, but then he started out with a monologue, which is one of my ultimate pet peeves with this 6. I'm like, here's the thing. If you know who this character is, and even if you don't, we don't need to know about your little origin story anymore. We're reading this story now. So I don't care about what happened in the 1970s or, you know, the 80s or whatever, because that was long time ago. And
Watch what you're saying, young lady.
well, no, I mean with like origin stuff and whatever, because I don't need to see, you know, if every book with Bruce Wayne or with Batman started with like his parents dying, I would freaking not read anything that has Batman in it.
Isn't that how his movies start though?
Yes, and that's unfortunate. But
fair enough.
But yeah, I absolutely hated it. It kind of felt like they just threw Jason Todd into prison just to say, see, he's not a good guy. Because only supervillains are part of Suicide Squad, so we got to make him in prison with all the others, because you know. And it's another thing which I brought up before with like Justice League America, I believe, and Justice League Dark. Why do we need someone from the big 3 families to be a part of every freaking squad? Is it because they don't feel like they can carry their own weight and they have to throw in a member of the Bat family or freaking Wonder Woman or Superman of some sort into these, you know, alternate groups? Because some people are actually sick of the Bat family, and some people, like I saw on Twitter, people, you know, complaining about the fact that all of the Black Label books seem to be Batman centered. And I kind of agree, because it's annoying. I love Batman, but can we, you know, do without? Because some people want to actually read Suicide Squad for the villains.
Then at that point, take Harley out.
Yeah, well, I agree. We should take Harley out because she's a.
She's a character. She's a little overdone character, kind of like the Joker, kind of like Batman.
She's like freaking Deadpool for DC right now. But Deadpool's actually funny. You know, that's the main difference. And I hate her. So, but also speaking of Harley,
really feel.
Oh God, I used to like her. I used to like her a lot, but now I absolutely despise Harley Quinn. But anyway, yeah, her chest, her boobs disappear like constantly. Like when he first meets her in the cell and she stands up, I was like, what the hell is wrong with her body? She's wearing a tube top, and like there's not even like the shadow line of, or you know, like when you're wearing a tube top or something, your breasts naturally kind of like cast a shadow because they're not flat.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come and go. They're like, oh, gall. And then later on, when they're on, like, I think the worst one is the very first one when she's talking to, like, right there after Waller, and then it's just so bad. And then she gets chest, and then she doesn't have a chest, and then, you know, it's just so bad. And they put her in a tube top, so it makes it look worse. At least put some definition where her chest should be, you know, some shading or something, you know, be art, do art stuff. You know, because when I was like, if I was,
I mean, to be honest, Alex Malev is very much a stylized artist. He's not what you would say traditional superhero style art. I remember looking at his stuff on the Spider-Woman book for migraines, and I was like, "What's going on? This, you know, Spider-Woman's got legs and figures and curves, and this has absolutely none of that." So. You know, I think it's just the kind of style. I mean, I kind of picked up when he sees Silver Banshee sat down, he tries to put definition across the costume where her waist would be. And it kind of works, but it kind of doesn't in the same vein. So I kind of get where you're coming from, definitely.
Yeah, No.
Okay.
No, like I could go through so much and nitpick, like Harley's hair, and when they're running back to whatever, I kind of stopped.
That panel there,
reading.
Josh, there, that bottom panel there on that page, up next to the crash panel. So, see how he's trying to define some
Yeah.
sort of like waist there. Yeah,
Mhm.
cool. Good spot.
Yeah.
And
It's
I'm sorry,
just-
but who falls like that when you're hit by a vehicle?
Nobody.
You usually go under the vehicle. Just
I
saying.
like the way the body is, kind of looks like the action figure where the arms and the legs are so stiff and they don't bend at the knee.
They
and
only
plus
bend at the
that-
shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not gonna lie, are those Rob Liefeld feet? Because that's what I'm seeing.
All right. Okay.
Let's
Oh.
move on. Let's move on. We've done enough on this one.
Let's not invoke the demon life out. All right.
Yeah.
Let's not get.
Yeah. Also, when Joker came in finally at the very end of the freaking book, like this whole thing gets Joker. Yeah, he's in for like 2 pages. No, past that when he's like clockwork oranging it up in the very end. I was
So,
like,
go on.
just why? What's with the fascination of Clockwork Orange all of a sudden? It was in a new Space Jam movie, and now it's in freaking this. And
Why does it look like he's wearing Depends with suspenders?
have you not watched Clockwork Orange? 'Cause that's
No.
what they wear. Don't. But
Right.
honestly, I'm surprised he didn't, do the whole scene. Actually, no, I'm not surprised he didn't do the whole scene because he would have gotten some major backlash because that's a traumatic scene to watch. But
Okay. Cool.
hate
Right.
it.
So
I hate
let's
this book.
let's close this out. No way Waller gets caught flat-footed. No way. Not in a million years. This is Amanda goddamn Waller. She does not get caught flat-footed like that. Not a chance in hell. That's poor ideas. Freya, I'm a little bit disappointed in you because I noticed one of your nitpicks early on.
Which one?
In this book, all the swear words are blanked out.
Yeah.
Even when someone takes a dump or the S word in the toilet, it gets blanked out. And then later on in the book, the word starts coming back.
You mean
And
this
then-
shit?
Yeah, and then on top of that, Silver Banshee uses a couple of different words for the F-bomb. And I'm like, this is a black label book. This kids aren't going to be buying this. If you're gonna blank out the swear words, blank out the swear words.
Mm-hmm.
If
Or
you're going to
just
put the
don't-
swear words in, put the swear words in. Let's be consistent, please.
Maybe an editor, took a lunch break halfway through the book.
Or
Maybe the
maybe
edit-
maybe it
got
was an
confused.
intern from Utah that had the blank versions.
Maybe you got confused with the things, thinking this isn't the Jim Gordon Joker book. Let me go and find out what's happening. And then went and
Right.
did this. So yeah, cool. All right, there you go. All right, so 2 down, 2 to go. Well, 2 down,
Kinda.
one and a bit to go. Heads up, we're going to go to one of our fantastic adverts. I believe there is a new episode of this show coming out where there's going to be some shenanigans, some ratage going on. So here you go. Check out the advert.
Oh god, the audio guy is gonna be pissed.
He most certainly is. I'm gonna have a word with him. I really am. I bet he's a Patriot. I bet he's a Patriots fan. That's why he keeps cutting me off.
Audio guy,
All
go ahead and send all of your hate mail to johnny@comiccrusaders.com. Thanks.
What? Come on. You can't take the blame.
All
for
right.
all this.
I'm
Maybe
excited. I'm excited for this upcoming episode of the Jank Think Tank. Matthew and I talk about the newest set and our favorite cards from the Adventures in the Forgotten Realms.
Dungeons and Dragons!
The D&D crossover set. Funny enough, after we recorded that episode, I actually pulled a couple of the cards that we talked about in the draft that I ended up doing. It was fun. It's good times. Anyway, enough about magic.
And back to comic books. Okay, so ironically, magic plays a little bit of hand in this title as well. Who'd have thought it, right? All right, so whose choice was Matthew? It was yours. This is
mine.
DC Horror presents The Conjuring, The Lover, #3.
Yep,
Right,
we were
so
talking about horror books, and so I figured I'd pick this one up too.
Yeah, let's keep it on trend. Yeah, so it's written by David L. Johnson McGoldrick and Rex Ogle. Art by Gary Brown, colors by Mike Spicer, and letters by Becca Carey. There is a second story at the back, which features the writing of Tim Seeley. The art by Kelly. I wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for Bernie Wrightson Jones. Colors by Georgie Belair again, and letters by Becca Carey pulling double duty. There you go. Matthew, take it away, sir.
I picked this one up a couple episodes ago, the Conjuring episode or chapter 1. It introduced the first story that we're going to talk about, and then the second story, just like in this one. The first one, there's a college student who is trying to come to grasp with the fact that, either she's going crazy or something's possessing her or something. And so she's seeing faces. She's seeing something is terrifying her. Like there's one point where she's imagining all these bugs and insects crawling over her in this chapter. And she gets terrified. She runs out and she finds a friend of hers named Kyle, who then proceeds to try to,
Find out if the chicken
comfort
came
her.
first.
try to comfort her and all that, and then she ends up like going through one of those visions or illusions that whatever is in her mind give her, and she once again gets terrified and she pushes the person that she thinks is attacking her away. Turns out she actually pushed Kyle in front of a truck. So yeah, it's been out. The book's been out. I personally like this series. I was very enthralled with the first one, and kind of like what Freya said earlier, I'm enjoying the break from the superhero trend that is going on. I'm just it's superheroes every which way that you look. The Zack Snyder's cut of the DC movie, Suicide Squad just dropped. Almost every single comic book on here was, Batman, Superman, Justice League, so on and so forth. And so I was enjoying the little break, and I wanted to take the horror book. Words are hard. I was wanting to take a break and go into the horror story that I had picked up a few weeks before. And so here we are. And then in the second book, the second story in this actually, how do I put this into words? It was good. I really enjoyed the second story, and it actually gave me my fill of horror, because something about these clapping monkeys and these accordion monkeys actually freaks me out as a person. Same thing with like porcelain dolls. They freak me out.
What about the waving cat?
That one's okay. That one's cute. The lucky cat's cute. They don't have giant eyeballs that just stare at you at all times. So, I really like the story, and the fact that it reminded me very much of like the old monkey paw story. You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Where like
the monkey's paw.
Yeah, the monkey paw, where you can make wishes on it, and the wish will come true, but at a terrible price. So like the old couple who end up with the monkey's paw wish for $1 million, and they get the $1 million, but in order for them to get the $1 million, their son died in a plane crash, and the company reimbursed them their son's life.
We got a worse version of that in Wonder Woman 1984.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there was. So I really like both of these stories. I really did. The continuation from where I picked up on the last one, even though it was chapter 3 and I missed chapter 2, it didn't feel like I was missing much. And then the second story, like I said, it gave me that nice little horror spook that I was wanting.
All right. Okay. So, let's see. Freya.
Yeah.
We've had Mr. Positive. So, do you want to?
Mr. Positive, Miss Negative. Let's go.
Negative. Okay. I will try my best.
Okay.
I actually like this.
Hey, I got one.
I don't hate everything.
Get out.
No, I like this. But then again, I am also kind of a fan of the Conjuring universe. But I will not disappoint you, Johnny. I will nitpick it. So, yeah. First off, the faces. I don't like how the faces are done. Her and her roommate kind of, to me, look like they have the same face. It's when the page 2 or something, where the roommate's packing up and leaving. Where is it? Way in the front. Where are you going, Johnny? Go forward.
It's not me.
Yeah, there we go. Like they have the same face. I don't know why, but to me it looks like they're the same person. But
Well, that's Superman. Everyone knows who Superman is.
Oh, well, yeah. Well,
What are you looking at? There's nothing wrong with Superman.
Oh, but anyway, and I don't know. I'm still, for a girl who, was standing over her roommate with a pair of scissors, I would have, expected her to be kicked out of school. But whatever, the school wants to make money. So let's keep the potentially homicidal, students around. But I did enjoy it. I did like to see her progression into madness and the looming creature. I also kind of liked her mom, the conversation she had with her mom, and how much
that was class. That made me laugh.
Yeah, I was like, oh jeez. And you can
sounds like she rang my mom.
Yeah. Oh jeez, because you can also see in that conversation her breakdown, because she starts out I think she starts out calling her mom, and then she degrades into a child, starts calling her mommy.
Yeah.
In it, so you can kind of see her mental breakdown right there. So Kyle, I thought he was her boyfriend. Until she friend zoned him at the very end.
Yeah.
Before she pushes him into traffic to get killed. I was like,
yeah, that's the ultimate friend zone move. Oh look, bus.
I really like you, but only as a casualty. There you go. 911, what's your emergency?
So yeah. Other than that, I'm trying to nitpick, but yeah, mostly it's just the faces. Also the librarian being evil was no surprise. Like the moment you meet her, she just kind of like,
yeah,
she's evil. She kind of dresses like a witch. To
be fair, there's only one cool librarian. That's Barbara Gordon, and that's going back some time.
Hey, I know. I'm Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Giles.
Don't you diss Giles? He's awesome in Tweed.
You realize Giles is about as British as.
Oh, I know. So I still love him though. So yeah, and then honestly, just and then the second story. Who thinks it's a good idea to buy their child a creepy, freaking monkey doll like that? Especially
the same people who buy their children Furbies.
Right.
I had one of those.
But it's not even the fact that he bought it. He found it and was like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, let's give my child a disease-ridden toy that I found on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Great parenting.
Hashtag helicopter parents.
Yeah. Also, the child, the baby, what page is this? 22? That is the ugliest freaking drawing of a baby I have ever seen in my life. Like when he's in the crib and when he's not in the crib, I'm like, that is the ugliest child I've ever seen. And I've seen some ugly babies.
Yep, right there.
Bam. Oh,
right here.
Right here.
Yep,
right there.
You realize now that all Freya's friends and family listening to this pod will be texting us saying, "So, which one of our babies do you think is ugly?"
Yeah, I'll just.
What do you mean, ugly babies?
No, trust me, they know. I had a friend
Hashtag not getting a birthday present for my niece.
well,
I
yeah.
will have to say
I have
the
terms.
one thing about the artwork that threw me off on this is that bottom left-hand panel. It took me a solid 4 minutes to figure out exactly what was going on there.
Sure left you hanging, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I didn't I was like, why is it showing us this thing of her laying down?
It's a terrible angle that they chose to draw it in.
Yeah, at least they shadowed out certain parts.
Yeah, because heaven forbid we see what is up that dude's nose.
Right? Gosh.
They could have had her in pants, is all I'm saying. She didn't have to be in a skirt. But yeah, so the artwork, face-wise, no, it's not good face-wise. Ugliest baby ever. I did actually also enjoy the guy's skin his brain smashed in, but that was
right. That was
with the bowling ball.
With the bowling ball. I like the morphed reflection in the ball. Pretty sure you wouldn't see your reflection of yourself with a bowling ball. Last time I went bowling was years ago.
Polished.
I was like, I don't remember them being shiny.
It's like that scene in Christmas Vacation where he's just polishing the sled, just polishing. And that's how the bowling ball got away. The dude was polishing it and it slipped out of his hand and just went boom.
All right, excellent. Okay, so was it a yay or a nay for you then, Freya? Maybe.
It's a yeah, I'll read it, but I'm not gonna buy it and add it to my collection because the art bothers me a little bit too much.
All right, okay. Cool. Josh, where do you sit on this?
So we'll start with the lover. I'm with Freya, and I think I even pointed this out when we first reviewed book 1. I don't like the faces.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been a fan of how they did that. Character design on this was weird. The last time I saw a creepy library and a librarian like this, I think was in Ghostbusters. So I do believe that this is where Ray Stantz, Pete Venkman, and Egon will come around the corner. So it is very highly probable. It's dark, it's gritty. The story is not bad. To see the torment that this girl's going through, I think is captured very well. But unfortunately, the artwork distracts from the writing. Now onto the possessed doll and monkey. Yeah, I'm with all of you. Who in the hell would buy or pick up a toy like this? If you're doing this, you really need to change your life choices. This is it's creepy as hell. I'm also with Freya, ugliest baby in comics.
Worse than Aqua Baby?
Yeah,
by far. Actually, that kind of looks like the mad character.
Don't be talking about mad characters already.
Well, did you see that face? That's what I attributed to. Oh, yeah.
I was thinking the troll dolls, just without the pointy hair.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah, but I don't know. This book, I feel the art distracts from the writing, and as such, it's a pass for me.
All right, okay. I quite like the idea of this story, but I think Matthew's hit on a bit of a snag with this. We looked at issue 1. We thought it was canny. We thought it was all right. We've missed issue 2, and yet issue 3 we can just read it and pick up where we left off. Does that not tell you that there's something wrong with the pacing?
And it's not even a Tom King book.
Yeah,
I
I
know.
was
Who'd
gonna
have
say
thought?
DC has some issues with their pacing in a lot of their books.
Yeah. So
I feel like there was something important. I do feel like there was something important that happened in second issue, but the fact that it wasn't so consequential that I have to go back and read the second issue is, it's
Yeah, that's my issue with this book. I mean, it's supposed to be a horror book. It's supposed to be scary. So for me, the art can be a little bit off kilter, and it's not going to have a massive impact because it's supposed to be that kind of like freaky style. It's a it's a horror book, so you know I'm going to give it a pass on some of the artistic choices. Is it my cup of tea? No, not really. I'm a little bit. Obviously, Kyle came and hit on her, and she likes girls. She's in the, and I don't like the idea that the representation is that to like girls, therefore you must be possessed by a demon. I don't know if I'm reading it too much, or if I'm reading too much, or I've got the wrong end of the stick. And if I have, I genuinely apologize. But to me, is it no? Well, why do demons and sexuality have to be tied together like that? You know, today's a freer world, so we should be able to just exist and be happy with the person you love regardless. So that's my 2 cents. All right, there you go.
I'm confused that if he was his friend, why didn't he know he liked girls? She liked girls.
Okay, because blokes don't think with the brains. All right, okay.
Okay.
Look, God gave us enough blood to run one head at a time.
Yeah. And speaking of which, I'm thinking about
Josh just immediately went, ugh. Am I wrong though? Am I wrong though?
No comment.
So, last up then, quickly, it's a bit of a shout out because it's been out a couple of whiles. It's my shout out. It's Infinite Frontier #3, written by Joshua Williamson, sitting for the ride because here we go. It's
Oh, girl.
She's back! Yes! Yay! Yeah, there you go. Art by Paul Polita, Jesus Marino, Tom Derenick, and Zamanko, Norm Rappamund, Rual Ferendex, Tom Derenick, I can't even say that again. Zamanko's on inks. Oh, man, how many is that? Colors are by Romulo Fajardo Jr. Letters are by Tom Napolitano. But the key point of all of that, check her out. She's back.
With the boob window. Yeah.
With the boob window.
Boob window.
Power Girl is back. Come on. There you go.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that's about the only good thing that happens in Infinite Frontier #3 is that Power Girl's back. I looked at this. Now, for the guys in the UK, this week or last week has been when DC and Diamond have kind of parted ways. So there's a lot of comic book stores have been short shifted on Infinite Frontier #3. In fact, my 2 local stores don't have any of it. I had to go to eBay to pick this up. All right, so expect in the UK prices for this book to potentially go up where demand far outreaches supplies. Because now the DC aren't part of Diamond are under no obligation to give those issues back as a short form. So if you get hands on this, go for it. Cool. There you go. Anybody else want to have anything to say about Power Girl?
Roy Harper, he's in the book.
I was going to say she looks fantastic, but I'm also excited for the ad that they included in the book for Batman '89.
Yes. Yeah, so that's due out today on the day that this pod goes live, following the '89 timeline. So that'll be interesting to see. You know, Batman '89 has a lot of fans, so there you go. Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. And there you go. That's it. 3 and a bit books. What do you want? And Power Girl.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yay! I know Johnny's been asking for her to be back since I feel like we're talking about Rebirth.
Yeah. At least. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So there you go. That's another show done. Congratulations, everyone. The Fantastic Four has been in place. Well done. So Matthew, Josh, Freya, thanks for spending the time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, and then don't forget to check out the UCPN for all your favorite podcasts, including Matthew.
The Jank Think Tank, where we talk about all sorts of Magic the Gathering stuff, deck tech combos and introduced gameplay.
There you go, Josh.
Flipside Focus, your home for all indie comics.
All right, and even though they're on sabbatical, K-pop Cosmos,
Yeah.
still on there. Go check out UCPN for all your previous episodes. Go check them out. That'll get wet your whistle ready for its sparkling return.
Yeah. Or not so sparkling, depending on my mood.
Well, we'll leave the sparkles to the performers, shall we? Yeah,
all the glitter.
All that glitters is K-pop. There you go. And of course, the Old Timers Comic Book Show, where the hosts aren't old, despite what Freya says, but the comics most certainly are.
And then also make sure, for those of you who have Android devices, go download the Comic Crusaders app.
Yeah, where you'll get all your notifications of all the shows as they hit, as well as all the reviews that hit on the award-winning Comic Crusaders. There you go. All right, that's it. It's a wrap. This is Joining the Machine Hughes saying adios.
Adios.
Bye.